Hey everyone, so a lot of people are interested on how I saved money on taxes. And so I'm gonna make this real quick, real short, and real simple for each and every single one of you so that you can understand how to save money on your taxes as well. So I see a lot of posts right now. I got a lot of likes and a lot of views on the last video that I did on taxes. And so I wanted to really just address that. So when you're a W-2 employee, there are tax brackets in which you would pay a certain amount of taxes, starting from 11% to 22%, and then going all the way up to about 48-50%, depending on which state you live in. And I'm not your tax advisor or anything like that, but when you start a business, whether you start a business using debt, which is the bank's money, which is non-taxable, or even if you pay off all of the debt you've had and then you still invest back into the business, that's another way to not get taxed. So let me go ahead and break those two completely different scenarios down for you real quick. So for example, with me, I have a real estate company, I have a real estate business. If I, which this is all accurate, this is what I actually did. If I go ahead and put money into renovating a property, renovating one of my properties, and let's say I make $20,000-$30,000 in rent, and I put $7,000-$9,000 into renovating the property, making it look better. That only boosts the value of the property that I have, but I no longer have to pay taxes because I did a 1099 for the construction work or whatever landscape work that I needed done. And so they pay taxes on the 1099 that I give them, which is significantly less than the taxes that I would pay on the rent that I would have earned, right? So for example, if I get $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 in work done and I only made 30K in business profits, I'm not going to pay any taxes. And so with that 1099, when you're able to show that to the Fed, you're able to say, hey, this is what I did. It's a one-time thing that I used against the property. I'm going to depreciate this 100%, or I'm going to depreciate this over some years, right? If you decide to depreciate it over some years, now you're going to depreciate a fifth of it this year, another fifth next year, until you do 5 years or even 20 years, whatever the case may be. You can do the same thing with debt. Let's say all you did was buy stocks, and now you want to take a loan from the bank on 20% of your stock market portfolio. You would not pay any taxes on that because it's debt, and you don't pay taxes on debt. You see, banks borrow from other banks all the time, and typically it'll be at 0% interest. But now, due to short-term interest rates rising, they have to pay about a 6.5% fee when they borrow from other banks. But typically, debt is not taxed at all. And so if you're taking a loan from your stock market portfolio, or if you're taking a loan from the house you just renovated and increased the value by 100,000, and you take that 100,000 out, you're not going to pay taxes on that 100,000. But what you can do is still buy that car you wanted, buy that extra rental property you wanted, buy whatever you wanted, and you'll be great. You see, when Elon Musk took money out of Tesla and bought Twitter, he didn't pay any taxes. You know why? Because he went ahead and bought another business, and that would be written off as an expense to his business. In fact, he can then take some of the money out of the business, as he's the 100% owner of that business, liquidate it through a bank after a bank assesses how much it's worth. And because he had just bought it for $42 billion, you can assume that it's worth at least that, because someone was willing to pay that, right? And then you can use that debt as cash. You can use that debt as non-taxable income rather than keeping it in the bank as income. So now you're living on debt that is not taxable. I know that probably went over a lot of people's heads. Or you can go the Dave Ramsey route where everything is paid off in cash and all you're doing is renovating, fixing up, and building on the businesses that you have. And then you're taking in whatever is left. So for example, if you made $1 million in 1 year and you're supposed to pay $480,000 in taxes, you take $480,000 and you reinvest it into your business. Now your tax liability is zero, and then you still leave with $520,000 of non-taxable cash that your business had produced, right? So although 480 of that still went out into doing something, into fixing, into renovating, you still leave with $520,000 in cash that you didn't have to pay taxes on, right? And then at least the 480 went into stuff that you actually wanted it to go into. You see, that's why the rich want to be in control of where their money goes. And typically, if it goes back into their business, no one really sees a problem with that because they'll be more profitable next year. And then they'll use those profits to reinvest back into the company. And they're incentivized to do so because if you reinvest back into your company, you don't just give your money away to the government. So if you want to hear more stuff like this, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.